What is up, winning team? Hello and welcome back to today's part 2 of me on an adventure while I talk to you about the deeper things. And we're talking about greed, like the people running the world, the Nephilim, the giants, and why were the giants trying to warn us of something. So yeah, I already did another video, guys. I don't know what it is. Well, actually I do, but I don't want to get into it. Why I'm doing these videos like this now, it is, and I'm also, I don't know, I'm killing two birds with one stone, because on the one hand, I'm telling you guys about like what's going on with me and the Lord, because I'm deep in it. Like, I'm so obsessed. Like, I don't think you guys understand how obsessive I am about this stuff. Yeah, it's literally all I think about. But then also, with the local elections coming up in like just under 2 weeks, and just a lot of stuff I've been seeing, I feel like I should really take advantage while I'm still in this town here to investigate. So I'm aiming to try and go to lots of different areas, and right now I'm in a retail park, so that's why it's going to be very noisy, because it's all just huge trucks and things. Anyways, you have to come to part 1 to see the juicy stuff of the first one. So now where I am, there's a church here, and I've heard so much. I've known people that have gone here. Now, I've never gone here because, well, hold on, I want to see if it's open, because you guys know how I feel like the mosque is always open. If I go and walk to the mosque, I bet you it's open right now. So I want to go and see if they're open. Let's just see. Hold on. Alright, so apparently the church entrance is on the other side of the building. Oh, there's a cafe here, Workman's Kitchen. What else? Hold on. Yeah, so this is also around me, by the way. Alright, we're going to walk around because it says the church entrance is on the other side. I want to go there and see what's the story. What is the story? But yeah, as I was saying, if I've said this before, all over the world, there are signs, like in all these hieroglyphs in Egypt and everywhere, like Peru, like places all over the world, there are all these different, like I said, pyramids, hieroglyphs, ancient statues and things, and they all point to this same date that, because apparently the cataclysm from 12,400 years ago, when apparently asteroids from outer space flew down onto Earth, melted the icebergs, and that was the end of the last ice age, apparently. So that's the story we've been told. Now, the question that I never thought to ask until literally yesterday, they got a lot of signage going to this church. Well, to be fair, I know people have come from London all the way to come here, so hey, I always knew it was up here somewhere, I just never knew where. Oh, here's the entrance, so let's have a look. I really want to know. The thing is, I don't want to get into a conversation. I want to go inside here. Here's the problem. I want to go inside and see what's going on. I don't want to end up in a long, extended, brain-dead conversation. That's the problem. So just give me a second to see the entrance. Oh, it's closed anyway. What a surprise. I see no reason why the church should ever be shut, by the way. A, because like we should be there for people in their hours of need, which is all the time, 24/7. And you mean to tell me in a church with however many people, people can't volunteer one day, like everybody volunteers one day, every, I don't know, depending on how many, let's say you have 90 people in the church, all you need is people to volunteer one day every 3 months that they're going to dedicate to coming to the church and just staying there throughout the middle of the day or end of the day, evening, nighttime. Like, I would volunteer actually to stay throughout the night, because I'm going to be up anyway. Is this a restaurant? What is going on here? Some like place that says, are they a restaurant or are they like a butcher's? What's going on here? I want to go inside, guys, but then you remember that people talk, and then you remember, why am I here? Okay, let me just get my bearings again for a second. Something so eerie about this area, like I would find it really depressing to work around here. Like we used to build beautiful architecture And now everything just looks the freaking same everywhere. But actually, having said that, brings us nicely back to the Giants and exactly what I was just talking about, because I have a theory. I was thinking about this when I was in Italy, when I was at Rome. And if you guys remember, in the vlog that I showed you guys of going to the Colosseum, there was that's odd. The hell is that? There was okay, like, look, there's just like a blank space, and then there's like it looks like, I don't know, is it some kind of camera? Is it a parking thing? Like, what is that? And why is there nobody in there? And why is there nothing happening? Anyway, I'm gonna keep walking around here. And I was in Rome. Oh, look at that airplane! It looks absolutely beautiful. These are the competent people of the world, although the standards are slipping. Nah, what the hell is that? Guys, you can't see. There's another. Oh, not again! No trespassing. This was happening in the last one. There's like these white bulbs. Oh my gosh. This property is protected by video surveillance. Damn it! I was gonna record through the wall. There's these weird, like, huge, like, white, like, bulb-looking things, and they're just in rows. That's freaking creepy as hell. Oh, and we've got an aerospace thing here as well. Didn't know that. I tell you, this town is the gift that keeps on giving. I tell you. All right, we'll go up there in a minute. And I feel like, I low-key feel like I'm getting the slight look of, like, I don't belong here. Welp. Anyway, I was in Rome. I noticed that where we had, like, patched up, because obviously what they did is they patch up the some of the bits that had been destroyed or ruined had been patched up, but we patched them up, like, with our own new school bricks and stuff, which obviously didn't compete. And I'm convinced 100% that all those arches and all those, the Colosseums and everything, were built by the Giants, by the way. I'm 100% convinced of that, because just the way that they looked, and even like ruins I've ever seen anywhere, but especially the ones in Rome, I was like, I don't think humans built these. And I do genuinely believe all these arches are portals, by the way. I don't know if I've ever said that, because there's even like, there's marble arch, there's everywhere that's got all these arches and stuff, and it's just like, think about it, it doesn't add anything. So why is it there? Like, and we should really be thinking about these things. You know, what would be the actual purpose of actually having these things? Especially when there's just freely there, like a lot of times an arch is just kind of freely there in the middle spot somewhere, and like there's no, like, it's not connecting to a building, there's nothing, it's just an arch. Like, have a day off, guys. It sounds like something dodgy is happening with that, if you ask me. So I do think that my thoughts for this whole thing started when I was thinking, what about the, like, however many years, which some people say it's 75 years, some people say 100, 120, that it took Noah to build the ark. What were they doing in that time, like the kingdom of darkness? Because obviously the kingdom of darkness knew. And I was thinking about this because I recognize that in my own experience, that, like, you know, even now with all the stuff I'm doing, the reason I go out on these random escapades by myself and I'm out talking to you guys alone is because, like, even today I've had a really stressful day. It's been like a kind of spiritually challenging one. Well, yeah, just dealing with the kingdom of darkness, and just, you know, even yesterday I did a whole entire video. I was talking about how, you know, I finally got offered an opportunity of something I really want, or it's still there, the offer's still there, you know, and it just, but I know that it has the potential to completely derail all the work that me and the Lord have done over the past 5 years. You know, it would be like taking myself all the way a step back to where I started. So although it's something I would want to do, I can't get involved. And from both spiritual and biblical reasonings. But then it's like the devil's just trying everything. Like, I'm getting close to I finally have an idea of what I want to do about a lot of the things I've been talking about. I've actually started to feel a bit better about being alive. Like, I've been waking up and not just immediately bursting into tears at the thought that I'm still here. I kind of actually wake up and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'm not excited about it, but like, I feel more like I can handle this. Where the hell is that? Well, we're not gonna know unless we go and find out, are we? I didn't know this was all of this was back here. The hell? There's a lot of littering. So you can tell it's somewhere that people don't really go very often. I got to see where these gates go. Like, is that going to go to a park? Is that going to go to some kind of like locked off building? Like, where are we going? If it goes out and it goes into like a park or something, honestly, I'm going to find that way even more creepier. Like, look at that. Look at that building. It looks so eerie. It's all just so eerie around here. Can you guys see? And like people are actually working and stuff. Well, I don't know if they are, but I can hear noises. Yeah, let's see what the gate says. Sometimes to these parks and stuff to prevent, but then this has got a whole driveway. This is like, looks like a driveway, the way that like can you see how like all the stuff's like in the middle? So it looks like people actually drive up here. But then based on how all the sticks are, it doesn't look like anybody's actually driven up here. Maybe in a while, I don't know. Oh yeah, this looks like the back of somewhere. It says danger, keep out. What is it? Oh, okay. Sewage pumping station. All right. Wasn't that interesting? But yeah, so I've been thinking about that. And I've been thinking about, while I've been under all this pressure, it's like, I feel like the Kingdom of Darkness is scrambling. Let me just put that into plain English. I'm sorry, guys. I think that the world powers and the Kingdom of Darkness and even the big church leaders are scrambling. And I think they scrambled. I think when the king, because let's not forget that whilst we're doing whatever we're doing, we as humans, we are limited in our eyesight, right? And I came across a really interesting teaching the other day talking about what really happened when to the Garden of Eden, right? And I thought it was actually it was the seemingly most probable, according to what I know in my very lacking human wisdom, of which I could still very much be wrong, but seemed the most viable to everything I've heard, which was pretty much that the spiritual world, like of heaven, where God resides, overlapped with earth when Adam and Eve were there before partaking in the fruit. And so what happened when God said, "You shall surely die," is he essentially split the two from each other. So we were no longer connected, which is why I've had a long-standing theory that I don't think we can just I don't think the garden actually exists. I haven't said it out loud before. I don't think it exists anywhere anymore, or at least that we have access to it. That's why I think God's next plan was like, okay, the garden experience is gone because they contaminated themselves, so now they can't be in my perfect presence. Okay, nothing interesting is happening over here. Just a bunch of accountants and tax advisors, building contractors, just a bunch of let me just make sure that I'm not missing anything. It's the AI Auto Services Limited. What the heck? What do you mean AI Auto Services? What's that supposed to mean? Surely that doesn't make any sense. Wow, that car looks like it's been through hell. And now I'm going to walk all the way to the other side and all the way around and down because I got to see what's over there. So we got disconnected. This is going somewhere. So we get disconnected from the Lord. Sorry about the lighting. It's going to be what it's going to be. Listen, I don't control the sun. It does move around throughout the day. Although I do try to, when I'm recording, I try to go in the directions where the sun is facing me. But obviously I'm walking around, so But yeah, so the earth and the spiritual world were disconnected, right? And so then now we're just here. So I feel like here, like I said, the promised land was on. See, look what I mean? It's just very, look at this. Like, what is this? It's just something so eerie about it. And there's only 2 cars. This is a huge building. There's only 2 cars outside. The building just looks, I don't know. This feels like such a depressing area to work in. I think I would kill myself. The area around here, it's so quiet and so just unwell kept. Okay, I can see somebody in there in a high vis. What is happening? What the hell? Oh, done. Right, so after the flood, so I feel like when the giants and the humans realized what was going to happen, I feel like they could see. Because I also feel like that's why we experience spiritual warfare, like, right? And especially the most right before, we're about to win, because the devil's like, no, 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 like they're all panicking. Guys, can I just say, being around here is such a contrast to, you see, when I'm out in nature and I'm all like nature, and now I'm around like buildings and there's huge trucks and machines and factories, and it's just eerie. Like, listen, what you can hear is machines. Machines, the ringing of the sound of just stuff, large vehicles, large items, very monotonous things, boxes that all look the exact same, stacked into high shelves, buildings that all look the exact same. Like when I'm out in nature, it's like there's so many different kinds of trees and then flowers and plants and animals, and when the wind blows, it's not like now where it's just yesterday or the day before, whatever it was, I think it was yesterday, you could barely even hear me talking sometimes because the leaves were making so much noise. The leaves on the trees when it was winding. Right now, it's crazy. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's like the perfect depiction of the difference between spending time with God and spending time in the world is exactly this. Just eerie and messy, like there's so much litter everywhere. There's just, things are very unkept. You know what I mean? There's just weeds just being left to grow however they go. I really do get, the more time I've spent in nature, the more I see why God said to Adam to keep his garden. And then, like, it's going to get crazy out there. I'm going to need you to just keep it well groomed. Like I was saying, stacks of just stuff. An old pallet, a bunch of bottles, some bricks, some bags, some old bin bags, some just anything and everything. Just everywhere. Like, and there's just rubbish everywhere. This is why I don't want people to come into the nature spaces, by the way, because this is what's going to be there. It's going to be litter. And it's crazy because in this country, see? Hello, greenery. It's nice to see you again. You don't know where I've been. You do not know where I've been. This is why I don't want the humans in the nature spaces. Can you see why? Because we got bins everywhere in this country. Like, England is not a big place. The Red London buses are here. I have never known. Are these one of the Red London buses? I swear down. So they're even bringing them here to store them. But we can't put this town on the... You got to be freaking joking me. But you can't put this town on the London Underground. Flipping joke, mate. Flipping joke. But the buses are here. Why am I seeing Red London bus? Right here. And of course, Disney plus The Testaments. Made by the writers of Handmaid's Tale. What's the Handmaid's Tale based off of? Oh, the passage in the Bible from Jacob and Rachel and Leah, where Rachel couldn't get pregnant, and he impregnates his handmaid instead. Her handmaid instead. You guys know I love the Handmaid's Tale, but it's heinous. Like, it goes back to what I was saying. It's heinous and it's degenerate, and but it's exactly what I expect the world to become like. So that's why I enjoyed watching it. But it was one of those, like, this is going to be one of the last series I watch. And now it's on Disney Plus, you best believe, because Disney Plus already ruined it by buying Crunchyroll. And by the way, another thing on the note of degeneracy of us as humans. See that? Good Lord. This is 2026. God gave us this beautiful planet, right? With all these beautiful trees and everything like this, yeah? And what do we do with that? This is what we do with that. This right here. Oh, flower. how did it never occur to me? They're making flour. Right. I see. And you know what's annoying me about that as well? I'm so glad I came around here. Now, legally, they have to fortify. If you have wheat, this country has to be fortified. So once again, we can't even just have nice things that the Lord created. We have to change them. So now, all the flour, all the wheat. Yeah. And I'm like, fortified with what and why? Since when did we know better than the Lord? And I just feel like, again, it's another excuse to just poison us and for everybody to just get sick again. Because why are we adding stuff to the good things that the good Lord created? Explain that to me. I never actually stopped to realize 150 years of experience and expertise goes into every bag. Yeah, whatever. What in the industrial 2026 overconsumption is going on here? My goodness. And you see, this is the stuff that's really contributing to the pollution and stuff. But meanwhile, you're guilt-tripped into thinking, anyway. So, I think here, the giants realized, oh, we messed up, and the humans, and I genuinely think they left evidence to tell us, like, don't fall for this again, like, because now we're all going to go through hell because we see what the Lord is about to do, and we overestimated our understanding. Because that's something I think people don't realize, we all don't realize about God, and neither did the devil, neither do any of the created beings, because we're all the created beings, is none of us know the full plans of God and the full story. So that's why we can never, ever, ever trust in our own logic somehow to think we know anything, because we don't know the whole story. That's why, even calling my channel The Winning Team, guys, I wouldn't dare if it wasn't for the fact of, you know, Jesus being at the center of it and this being just a journey of faith. Because I've understood that there is no winning unless I just trust God, because no matter how much I know, no matter how much studying I'm doing and all this stuff, I'm still not going to have done enough, and I'm still not going to know enough. So the best thing to do, the smartest, wisest thing to do is to just trust the Lord. Okay, where are we now? Okay, I know where we are. Oh, this worked out beautifully. And you know how I was saying I didn't want to go past the petrol station? Now I can just skip the petrol station altogether. Oh, hell yeah! I don't want to have to come down this road. But now I could just cross the road here. And it was like I was never around here. Well, that worked out. Oh my gosh, the lengths I go. Anyways, I told the story about the dude at the petrol station before anyway. So you can go and check it out. But yeah, I think they were warning us. Hold up. The petrol station has changed leadership. Because why is it? And who the freak is Jet? I'm going to have to go and investigate now. Now I'm going to have to investigate, because who the freakity freaking frack? What in the hell? I have to investigate now. The whole thing has changed. The whole thing. And now I need to know. What was it before? Damn it, I can't remember. I can't remember exactly which company it was. All right, let's have a little peep. I'm gonna peep up the wall, right, and see what's going on here. It's me sneaking around here like a little creepazoid. What is this? Do you want to peep? Investigating. I'm gonna have to go around. Okay, actually, no. Abort mission. Immediate abort mission. It's the fact that I'm gonna just like casually go back, get a shower, go back to work as if I didn't just go off for like an hour and a half on a random escapade. But anyways, and also now there's loads of trees, even though I'm in the middle of the main road. And you want to know why that is? It's because I'm next to that building I was telling you about, the one that's always open late at night. It's covered with hedges, so now of course the trees are here. Of course we're not cutting these trees down. We need to hide everything that's happening. So yeah, But yeah, I think they were warning us. I think they overestimated. Yeah, see? Listen to that. Sound of the wind in the leaves. So comforting. Unlike whatever the hell is we just had happening just now. Yeah, this is so sketch. This is the photo ID required to get into the building. Damn. I honestly need help, like, at this point. Okay, so yeah, sorry, it's so chaotic on this road, and I love it. I love coming down here in the middle of the night because it's just big, huge trucks just like zooming down the road. You got the trees all around you looking creepy, and it's cold, and I'm just blasting music, and there's nobody there, and I'm literally just skipping up and down the streets, not even kidding, and it's like the best time ever. Oh my gosh, so the best time ever. But yeah, anyways, as I was saying, I'm going to stop to actually like finish my point and finish the video, okay? I think they were actually warning us, like dead ass serious. I think they were warning us as if to be like, don't fall for it, don't fall for this. We thought we knew, you guys thought you knew, like between the humans and also the watchers. I think they massively underestimated God, because I think something that happens in life, and especially for people who are losers, it's always the case. Because the winning and losing, like I said, it's more about characteristics, like your personal character, than it is anything else. Because you're not going to win at everything. So being a winner doesn't mean every single thing that you attempt in life you're going to win at. You know what I mean? And I think also, even for me, sometimes I feel like socially, that's why I don't really like to be around people, because I feel like people think I think I'm going to win everything, or they think I'm going to win everything, and I'm like, I don't win. I'm still just a human, right? Like, I just spent more time honing in on specific things and trying to become the best I can be at the things I've tried to become the best I can be at them. But that doesn't mean like there's more than all these different jobs of people, of stuff even I'm seeing right now. I'm so impressed. Like, I was just watching the guys, there was 2 trucks that were like both trying to drive into a place. I was watching the truck driving into the road, and I was thinking, that was flipping impressive, mate. That huge thing. But it's all about characteristics as a person. And one loser characteristic that is the main reason why the winners will always win is losers take a lot. They would trust too much in their own wisdom. That's what I keep saying. You trust, I'm looking at this person and they look like this, so they don't look like they're going to be that smart, or they don't. That's why God, in his infinite wisdom, always flips that on its head and goes, oh yeah, you thought you were going to send all these soldiers that you've been training with. You've all been clinking swords together and doing push-ups, right? Well, David was out with the sheep and you guys didn't want to put respect on his name. Well, he's about to put you to shame when I bring him in to take down Goliath. Which again, Goliath being another proof that the giants, I believe, they're not gone. So it's like, where are they? And that's kind of where this whole today's conversations are going. Like, where actually are they at this humble moment? So there's that aspect. And then the winning strategy, the winners don't ever have to overshow their power, because they don't need the validation. Because again, in the winning team, our approval comes from God. So it's like, if the whole world hates you, the whole world doesn't understand, if you don't have everybody kissing your butt, who gives a crap? Because who cares what they think anyway? They're losing. They're losing. That's why I'm like, I don't get the concept of caring so much about what a lot of people think. If you don't at least respect the person, like as in like not forced respect that we just give to people for reasons. I mean, like, genuinely have respect for somebody. If you don't genuinely have your own respect for them, then why do you actually care what they think about you? Like, you're a loser. Like, this is how I feel a lot of times in my head, and this is why I keep my thoughts to myself. Because like, if I say out loud what I'm thinking, I'm going to be like, that's exactly what I'll say. Like, why do I care what you think? Why do I care what you think? You're a loser. You're a loser. If following your advice is going to make my life be like yours, then I'm even happier not to be listening to you. I'm even happier that you're seeing me as different to you, because that now confirms to me I'm winning. But God doesn't have to prove himself, and he also doesn't, as a winner, you don't have to overly show your hand all the time and always be seen as the best, because I'm not going to tell that story because it feels like it's such an arrogant story to tell, but it wasn't my idea. That's the thing. It wasn't my idea. Okay, I'll share the story, okay? Because it wasn't me who had the idea to do this. So I remember once upon a time, I went to, it just made me think about myself over the years, you know, and how I really just never overthought. I never have been overthinking the winning part. I just never really think, like, because I'm never, unless I'm competing for my own reasons, doing what I need to do for my own reasons, I see no reason, like, to have to, like, just show off anything at any given moment. I don't even think about it. And this is a perfect example of how this happened. I'll never forget, this was years and years ago. I was with my dad and my brother and some of my family, and we went to this big, like, it was like a church / community / whatever, like, festival, not festival, like, what do you call it? Like when you're all at like a huge park and there's food and there's activities and there's games and there's like a fair almost, but not quite, right? More like a barbecue, I guess. And there was loads and loads of people there, like, and so we went there. We didn't know anybody. We'd just been there for the weekend for whatever reason. It was one of those awkward ones where when we got to the church, they were all like, "Oh, we got a man of God in the house," and I was just like, "Oh, Lord help us, why?" And then after that, so we went to this event. So there was this whole big event. There was all these people there, and so they were doing all these races, right? Now I've come because I'm just here to the church thing, so I'm wearing this little dress and sandals, yeah. And I'm just there and I'm getting excited because you guys know how much I love sports. Like, I love sports. I talk about it a lot. I love watching it. I love everything about it, right? I just love anything competitive because I think it's so much fun to, like, push yourself. I love seeing people push themselves to the limit. It's like, what is our maximum potential? God created us with so much. The fact that we're just going to sit there and just accept mediocre living when we could actually, like, it's just something I don't get. I'm like, I'm here for one life. You mean I'm here for one life and I'm just going to be like, oh, I could have done better, but I'll never know because I never tried. Oh, hell no. I'll die trying. So, yeah, we're there and we're watching. And so they're going to do all these competitions. And I was like, oh, this is going to be so much fun. So there I am. I'm like sitting like with my legs crossed in my sandals, right? My toes out. Oh my gosh. They're cool. They're going to do a race. They're going to get all the girls, all the women. They did all the men race and all the women race, right? And there's like 100 people, like 100 of each. Like, and I was like, okay. And I was getting excited. My dad gets up and he's like, my daughter's going to run in the race. My daughter's going to run in the race. She's going to win, by the way. And I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And I was thinking, Dad, look, I'm not dressed for this. I'm in a dress. I was thinking, yeah. And then he's sitting there, yeah, with all these other men at this table. And he's like, oh, yeah, my daughter, she's going to win. And I was like, oh, hell no. Because I didn't think I had a chance, yeah. Because I'm thinking, I haven't warmed up. I wasn't prepared for this. Whenever I actually want to, compete in a race, I actually, I train for it. Everything I've ever competed in, I always actually train intentionally for those things, you know. It reminds me of how, like, in the Sidemen videos, they get really annoyed at one of the guys, Simon, because he is really good at the game, and they're always like, oh, Simon, he's just so good. But actually, Simon says himself, when they all decided they were going to start playing Among Us, he just started to play the game to familiarize himself. So why are you going to be salty when you didn't put in the work? But anywho, that's a losing mentality again. You're just assuming that somebody's just good. You're not thinking about the work that they actually put in. But anywho, so it comes time now. So I've gone and raced in my bare feet, you guys. I'm there at the starting line, yeah, and this is a long line of people. And I'm thinking, why am I here? And honestly, I didn't care other than the fact of my dad going around and telling all the freaking, while they're having the little fathers meeting, talking about, oh, my daughter's going to win. And I was just like, oh, Lord help us. And it was one of those when I was so happy to just be in a space. There's another part of England, like, no one knows me. So I was happy to just kind of be just there, enjoying the vibes, having some good food, like, not really knowing anyone. So just getting to just observe, like, it was like the perfect. Anyways, so I get on to the race starts, whatever. Guys, when I tell you, I just ran. And I cannot describe how the shock I was feeling when I passed everyone. And I was just like, what the freaking fuck? And that day, I'll never forget that day, because that day I was like, wow, my dad actually saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and I was capable of more than what I thought. And I actually have to, this is what I'm saying about the thing about us, and on the winning side sometimes, yeah, is where the other people are so obsessed with whatever they're trying to achieve. Sometimes we also underestimate ourselves, and that's not a good thing. That's what I've been saying to you guys. It's not a good thing. I've learned now to accept that some people are going to find me to be arrogant. And the thing is, I have to be, because I have to believe enough in myself, and I have to believe enough in what I want to achieve in order to actually achieve it. Because if I'm here second guessing myself, like, how am I ever going to know? If I'm here not even trying because I've already assumed that there's not a single chance, then what's going to happen? So that was an incredible moment. And on that day, honestly, I was just glad not to let my dad down, because I was like, why are you gone and told everybody that I'm going to race? And he's like, go, get up there, go. And I was just like, Dad, you don't need to do this right now. Like, realistically speaking, I was just here enjoying the vibes. But I say all that to say that, like, that's kind of how God is, but he's aware of that. Like, God is like, he knows that he doesn't need to show you his biggest moves or his biggest plan. He doesn't need to convince you. He doesn't need us to understand. He will leave us. As I said, God's being scary at the moment. I did a video about that. God is scary at the moment because he's genuinely right now like, hey, you guys do what you want to do. You go ahead in your pride and you think you know better. You go and think you know better, because at the end of the day, I know that I'm actually better and I know what I'm doing. And so I'm going to have the last laugh. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I really feel like. That's why I said about that story, thinking about it, where it's like, oh, wow, I guess other people would have been desperate to have their moment. Because I mean, you see it, like, especially when you have like there's certain situations where people who are capable of doing something have to always show it at every single time. It's all they're thinking about is being able, like people who are like, this is why I kind of find people that some versions of people that work out, especially guys, a bit just too arrogant. Oh my gosh, perfect example was just up this very road we just came from, right? Where I was like, right where I was sneaking by the petrol station. So one of these days I was around here and it was late at night, and I see these two guys and they're like clearly coming from the gym. And one of them's wearing one of those like, One of them's wearing one of those, I really want to get my arms, by the way, to a point where I could pull off one of these. But they're like, they're not vests, but they're like as if you had a t-shirt and you cut the sleeves off, those tops. I love those. I can't pull that off. My arms are actually one of my most insecure parts of my body. One day, if I can pull one of those off. Anyway, so he was wearing one of those and like some shorts. He was with his friend and he had a big gym bag. So this is what I'm saying. This is where my assumptions are. And his arms obviously were looking very, swole, whatever. So he stops me, right? He stops me while I'm minding my business and it says whatever he said. I can't remember exactly what he said. He was like, oh, hi, you seem really nice. You look really beautiful, whatever. And I was like, oh, thank you. That's so sweet. And then there was just kind of like an awkward silence. And then he says, you're not going to ask me for my number. I was like, get off the steroids. Put down the testosterone. Enough with the creatine. Because, mate, it's getting to your head. You just stopped me. And that's what I'm saying about what I'm just saying. Can you see what I mean? Like, well, what in the entitlement are you even thinking? Because we're on different playing fields here. Because in my head, I'm thinking, maybe he just complimented me. Because I actually got going around and compliment people all the time. In fact, that's how the situation went wrong with the guy in the freaking petrol station. Because I told him one day, I was like, hey, you're really handsome. And then. But never ever do that, guys. Don't ever. Never. Because then, anyway. And I do that with women as well. Like, I do that in general. Like, when I just see people, oh, you got a nice hair, you got nice shoes, you got a nice outfit, you got beautiful eyebrow. Like, I compliment people because, listen, life is tough, and you'll be surprised that we will be surprised how much people don't get complimented. I'm sure you guys all know, because I'm sure you're thinking, yeah, when these things don't really happen, yeah, they don't. So I like to try, only if it's things that are honest. I don't go around just saying stuff and lying, because that's actually something else other people do to like gain attention, is want to be I'm the one who has something positive to say about everyone so that everybody loves me and I can be the beloved of everyone. But in reality, they don't actually like you. They have so much hatred. In reality, all they care about is the attention. There's a lot of women like that, and it's scary. But yeah. That's how that situation ended up with the guy in the petrol station. Because then he was like, oh, really? Because then I bumped into him and he was like, oh, really? Do you want to take my number? And I was just like, oh, gosh, no. This is why I don't. And that's what I'm saying. Like, where's the line? This is why I just don't talk now. Just don't say anything. Don't say anything nice. Don't smile. Don't nothing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway. What in the world? Do you see the entitlement? He's like, and it's because you could tell his stature, the way he was standing, the way his arms were out, the way he was with his friend. He's standing there, and then he's like, what, are you not going to ask me for my number? No. And I actually laughed. Like, I never laugh in these situations. I actually laughed in his face. I was like, what? What? Am I going to ask for your number? Oh my days. And it's giving loser energy. Now I know why you're in the gym, because you're working so hard to find a way for people to respect you. This is what I'm saying with the people of the losing team. They're desperate. They need money. They need attention, right? This is why all the freaking rich guys, they get rich and they want a young woman. Yeah, didn't have access to those women when you were younger. Like, I'm not trying to say that in a rude way. I'm just saying that, like, that's what's actually happening. Like, let's be so freaking for real. And that's why if I was in that situation, see me, I don't want people to just think that they've come and earned me in that kind of way. Like, I would never want to be like, oh, now I've earned enough money so I can go and buy this thing. Like, no. If you don't accept me and love me for who I am, as I am, without all the extra bells and whistles, then why am I even interested? And again, that's a loser way of thinking that it's more worth it to have all this stuff that you've had to, like, fight for, right? And basically beg. And, you know, and this is where, again, like I say, at the moment, I'm sure for the giants, for the women, it all seemed all fun and games at the time to do whatever it took to get what they wanted, whether the women sleeping with these angels. I don't know if they knew they were angels or not. These are questions I've been asking the Lord today. Like, wait, did the women know that these were actually angels, or were they deceived as well? And like, did they know what would happen? Like, I want to know how much they knew. I want to know how the conversations went down. I want to know, why were these women not being protected by other guys? Because, you know, with us women, we've not historically ever had rights. So surely there's no way that just random men could come and just be taking people's daughters. So now I want to know how that happened and all of this. Ultimately, I see they both saw something to gain out of each other, that they were willing to sacrifice. I don't know what. I don't know, because they don't know. But maybe if they didn't know, that's how we all got here. And that's why they're actually warning us, because they're like, well, guys, we didn't realize what we didn't realize. We thought this was all fun and games. We thought, oh, well, we can shapeshift into humans. We'll just go and impregnate the humans anyways. I'm sure this isn't going to be that bad. Maybe God would give us a slap on the wrist. And then the women were like, hey, I know we're probably not supposed to do this. And I'm supposed to, you know, be like with whoever, man or whatever. But these guys say they have stuff that can help. I know maybe God's not going to be happy about it, but hey, I'm sure it's not going to be that bad. And then it was way that bad, because that's actually what always happens with us as humans, is we always think we're doing stuff and we always think it's not going to be that bad. And then it's actually way worse than the thing than we possibly could have ever thought, the consequences. Because now those children, like we know, the disembodied spirits, these are their children, the ones that are plaguing us all today. Their children are the ones where I'm out here talking about deliverance. Why Jesus came, and one of the first things he was doing was exactly that, you know, delivering people from demons and all of that stuff. You know, they were cursed. You know, some of those angels, one of them, I think it was Azazel, it says in the book of Enoch, as you guys will see from our last big, huge series about evil, it says God put him in a valley in the middle of the earth where he would never see light again and would have to wait there asleep until, well, not even asleep, I think maybe even awake, because they're angels. Wait there awake as a punishment until we get to the judgment day and the final punishment. So just there in the earth somewhere, where we all are right now, just there in total darkness, because obviously the angels, they loved light. So never seeing light is honestly more torture even than being tortured, because for them, like, that's what they're looking for, right? Never seeing light again. And that's exactly what happened. The other angel was hung and crucified upside down. Literally crucified upside down in the stars. And I think there's a constellation for one of them that we can see. The punishments are so insane. Yeah, and the consequences of our actions, like Adam and Eve, yeah, the Lord said, don't eat from this tree, you shall surely die. Oh, and now we're all living in the curses of Adam. And now we're all living in the curses of Eve. And now we're all living amongst the world. We're supposed to be away in the garden, away from all of this. We would never have had to known about all of this. This is what I'm saying. So I actually think, I've been wondering why there's all of the archaeological stuff that people have been finding all over the world. I've been wondering why would they mark anything, and why would they show us anything? Why would they bother to show us about the people that came out from, you know? And then I realized maybe they genuinely were warning us in terror. And in those years, those however many years that Noah was building the ark, and they could see that, oh, God is actually building up to something, because why is he building an ark? Oh, wait a minute, he's never done a flood. We never considered he would do that. That's why I think here, it's kind of funny with God in the flood, how he promised never to do it again. Because this is an interesting little situation. I think it's funny how he promised never to do the flood again, because I think he wouldn't have anyway. Because then that would have made him predictable. Because then we would be like, oh, next time the kingdom of darkness would just be like, oh, we're just going to prepare for the flood. We're just going to prepare for when God sends another flood. So that's why I'm like, God is scary, because we don't actually know what he's going to do next. So yeah, I'm just like, I genuinely wonder. So there's this guy parking in the back, and I'm going to try and give him his privacy to park his truck. I'm genuinely wondering what's going to happen, like, at the end of all of this, and if they were warning us. And I genuinely do believe, like, God is going to do his big one, and I'm just praying that it's within the time that I'm alive. That's all I'm praying for. I know that's what we're working towards, because I think that's what's happening. The kingdom of darkness is watching everybody gearing up. They're watching us gearing up. They're watching me gearing up. They're watching us building the ark. They're watching God, cracking his neck, getting ready. And they're like, oh, damn. This thing is really going to happen. Like, this thing is really going to happen. And I think that the people in the world, because they've been so deceived, just as those before, right? Because again, those who forget history are condemned to repeat it. I think the same way that they got caught up and they thought this was all fun and games and that it wasn't going to be that bad, I think that's the same exact deception that the devil has the powers of the world under right now, where they're working with the humans and the demonic kingdom, and everybody thinks, this is going to be fine. We're going to know what to do. Like, we already know that God's going to do something extreme. This is what we're going to do to plan for it. Let's escape to Mars. Let's escape to underground tunnels. And whatever God's actually going to do is going to catch everybody off guard. And the rest of us are just going to be like, well, I didn't see that coming, but I was ready because I was with the Lord. So I was on the ark, so I didn't need to. And that's what I think is going to happen. So yeah, I'm going to leave that there because I'm yapped enough here and I'm done in this area. So I'm going to go walk somewhere else. And in the meantime of doing that, I may or may not come back for another video, or I may or may not just come back because I really do need to continue in Job, because I said I wanted to do it before Pentecost, and that is now 25 days away. So I need to get onto that as well. But yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoying these videos. I know they're chaotic and all over the place, but I just feel like it's my way of curating a story, because every single part of everything matters. What's happening around me, the changes I'm seeing, is telling me something about the world I'm living in, the same way that the Bible is, the same way that the news is, and everything is, the same way that my job is. Like, it all has a part to play in the story that I'm trying to tell on this channel, and like of this journey of what we're on. And I think you can see, even just from the stuff that I show you, like, it puts into context why I say a lot of the things I say. And because this is stuff that people don't do. Most people, they don't spend time going around like in their local areas and going into the places that they don't normally go to, right? You just go around to wherever you normally go, social settings, normal whatevers. You're not going and taking a walk around the industrial area near where you live. You know what I mean? You're not going and like randomly walking through like, people don't do that. And I feel like that's why a lot of things that are happening in the world, they're getting away with it, because nobody's got their eyes on it, because they've got us in a system where this is how you do things and this is what's supposed to be done. They keep us insulated, they keep us inside, they keep us under control, because if we start to go and actually pay attention and look at the world around us, yeah, so as I said, everything we're seeing, it's only confirming the things I'm saying. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go. So I may or may not be back today, but if not, life's a game, it's played to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one.